What's up? What's up? Can y'all hear me? I'm not talking real loud, so I need to make sure y'all can hear me. Hey, everybody coming in. Hey, hey, hey. Child. Hey, everybody. Hey, hey, hey. I'm looking. I see you guys coming in. I see you guys coming in. Okay, you guys can hear me. Okay, I'm not talking too loud because I'm in my room. I'm still out of town. I'm in my room, and the person I'm with, she's resting. So I don't want to talk too loud, but I can't really go outside because everywhere outside they're playing music. So like out by the pool, they're playing music. Down in the lobby, they're playing music. So and I was like, well, I could sit out front of the hotel, but then it's people like, being dropped off and picked up and all that stuff. So I'm here because, I woke up this morning just like everybody else and saw that Diddy then came down here and apologized is how you say it, to the people. Now, I'm not home, so I haven't been able to like come on and go through every little thing that's been going on with Diddy, but I see where celebrities are coming out and supporting Cassie. I see where some celebrities who had defended Diddy came back and sort of, apologized and, said, hey, I see the videos, nothing I can say about it. And let me say this, and I understand that we want to jump on all of these people who um didn't immediately believe Cassie, right? And hear me out, hear me out. This is no different than what happens in everyday life. If you have a couple and you're cool with the couple, but you're closer to the guy than you are the girl, and information comes out, she says, hey, he assaulted me, he beat me, he whatever. It is human nature to not want to think the worst of somebody that you're cool with or that you're friends with. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying a lot of us have done that in our private lives, right? I get it that Diddy has had rumors around him and other things have come out over the years. I understand that. But I'm not going to indict all of these people. Now, the people I will indict are the people who came out and tried to make it seem like Cassie was just lying and Cassie was just trying to bring a black man down. Like that, I have an issue with. That I have an issue with. But if people were like, listen, I'm cool with Diddy, I never saw nothing like that, I'm not going to just throw him away. I can't be mad at those people. I mean, you can. You can. I can't tell people how to feel. Um, a conference room, well, I mean, they would be locked. those rooms will be locked. So, but anyway, so with that being said, I'm not but they all rushed to publicly condemn that's now Miss Too Feisty, that's what I'm saying. That I have a that I'm not. Yeah, the people that try to condemn. See, my thing is, you can support one without condemning the other, and say, "Listen, I've never known him to be that person. I can request to use the room. Oh, well, it ain't. It ain't that serious, baby. But I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But with that being said, there are people who I'm still going to side eye because like people like Slim Thug. Slim Thug, first of all, you just didn't have to say nothing. Like nobody asked you. Nobody is running to Slim Thug to do an interview or ask him his opinion on Diddy, right? Now, you were one of the ones that was like, people just trying to bring a black man down. Those are the people, I don't have nothing. I can't with you. I can't with you. Right? Um, Right. Peter Thomas, ain't nobody ever from the hood ever do nothing stupid like that. Why? You do. You from the hood, you do stupid shit all the time. You got people, you owe people from Baltimore to Florida and back to Jamaica. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about, sir? Like, hello. Right. Now let's get into this situation. His apology should have been as loud as what he was saying when he was going against Cassie. Right. Because let me be clear. And I know I'm not a celebrity, right? I get that. I'm not a celebrity. Um I'm not even celebrity adjacent. Okay. But here's what I want to say. This is my thing. Hey, what's up, Xavier? Hey, boo. This what I want to say. It would have been real easy to just tell people you're not gonna speak on it. I just feel like if it were me, I would like to think. I would like to think if it were me, my response would have been no response. Because I never want to be on the wrong side of something like this. Do you feel what I'm saying? I never want to be on the wrong side. And her lawsuit was so detailed. Like, who sat back, in my opinion, and I know a lot of people didn't read the lawsuit like we did. Y'all know we read the lawsuit over here. The tribe went through the lawsuit, right? Tribe went through the lawsuit, and I understand that a lot of people did not, but that lawsuit was way too detailed. That's like when we went through that Vince McMahon lawsuit. I said this is way too detailed for all of this to just be a lie. Like, the level of imagination you would have to have come up with those scenarios, the text messages, the things that were said, like you would have to have way too much time on your hand and way too much of too big of an imagination. And the fact, see, this should have been everybody's clue. Even if I was defending Diddy, even if I had the inclination to defend Diddy, everybody's clue should have been how fast he settled that damn lawsuit. That should have been everybody's clue. Do you understand? Do you understand that that lawsuit was less than 24, well, maybe a little over 24 hours, and he settled it? Nobody, and this is my opinion, this is my opinion. Nobody settles a lawsuit that defaming and okay, 18 hours. Thank you, Xavier. Nobody settles that type of a lawsuit in 18 hours if it's all fake, if it's just a lie, if it's just a money grab. Nobody does that. Now, will they eventually will they eventually settle it? Yeah, we see people settle lawsuits all the time. But in 18 hours, I would have to be an attorney and would have to actually go through LexisNexis and find it. Like, in our recent memory, can we think of any lawsuit like this against a celebrity that was settled, not dropped, settled in 18 hours? Settled? Come on, stop. We don't even know how much Cassie got, share my love. You said she could have got more. We don't even know how much she got. Baby, we don't know. Needless to say, I think Cassie's all right. If he really felt remorse, he would have apologized when Cassie filed a suit. Here's the reality. So let's get into, I'm not going to play the apology. I think you guys have seen it. It's only like a minute long. I feel you guys have seen the apology. You know what he said. Y'all know no, share my love. 30 mil, 30 mil is what she asked for before the lawsuit. We don't know what they settled for. Like in Fat Joe's words, yesterday's prices ain't today's prices. No, 30 million. See, the way lawsuits work, the way they were explained to us from Pam Esquire, there's always a demand, right? Especially, I mean, when we talk about a civil case, because all you can get in a civil case is money. That's all you can get. So there's always a demand. Well, always is a strong word. Generally, there's a demand. So Cassie's lawyers reached out to Diddy's lawyers and said, hey, my client said that your client did XYZ and she's ready to file a lawsuit. Diddy told his attorney, I ain't giving her shit. I mean, I'm paraphrasing. I don't know what Diddy said, but they declined, right? Because Diddy probably felt like he still had enough hold over her mentally that she wouldn't actually go through with it. Because, I mean, look at it. It had been years. So she probably, he probably never thought that she would actually file the lawsuit. So she filed the lawsuit. And Diddy quickly, because again, see, here's the thing. Diddy knew that there was evidence out there. Now, what Diddy didn't know was what Cassie had, what receipts she had, what she didn't have. But remember, in the lawsuit, she said she had pictures of bruises. Remember, in the lawsuit, she said there were people who were willing to testify in her defense. Hey, Tracy, how you feeling, boo? She said that there were people willing to testify, bodyguards and staff and friends. So Diddy did not even know what she knew, what she had, what receipts she had. You see what I'm saying? Diddy didn't know. So the minute she filed that lawsuit and said that she did have, because here's the thing, the attorney that took her case wouldn't have taken her case without right. Kid Cudi was willing to testify. The bodyguard was willing to testify. Her friend, her mom, she said that her mom had pictures from different situations. So like, and he knew this video existed because allegedly he paid $50,000 to the hotel, and like somebody left a comment under my video the other day and said the hotel would have never given him their only copy. Somebody kept a copy of that video. Now we don't know to this unless something has been confirmed, unless CNN has confirmed something um in the last however many hours. I still don't know how. There's a lot of speculation, but nobody knows how CNN got that video. We don't know who sent it to them or who they bought it from. Wondering if the bodyguard signed the NDA. Yeah, but the NDA can't cover you from criminal. Um, so I don't know. That'd be a good. I'm sure all of them signed NDAs. I'm sure everybody that works for Diddy signs an NDA. I'm positive of that. He would be a fool not to have people that work around him sign an NDA. But if they witness a criminal activity, I mean, I don't think they're bound to go to the police if they see it. But I certainly don't think that an NDA covers them if they choose to report it. And I don't know that to be a fact. Let me be clear. I don't know that to be a fact. Oh, Gino Dildon told it all, child. Just see, but again, nobody was believing him. Nobody was believing Gino because he was one person going against the machine. So he sounded like the crazy person yelling and saying, "Look, look, look." You think Alex and Cassie sent the video? I don't know. I honestly, um, yeah, I feel the same way, Kenya. If a crime is involved, I don't think. Well, I know an NDA um, doesn't cover illegal activity, but I don't think it compels you to tell. But if it's out there, you think Cassie's husband sent it to CNN? I'm gonna say this, and this is just my opinion. And I'm gonna open now. Y'all know I'm working. I don't know how to. We're gonna work on how to. I'm gonna drop the link for a little while, but nobody knew NDAs didn't protect them from criminal activity until recently. Fame made people ignorant to the law. Seems like Gene Deal wants Diddy to pay him to shut up. He done did. Well, at this point, he wouldn't. I mean, it don't matter. Diddy ain't gonna pay him to shut up now. He been talking. I think they had that video for years. Alec used to be in his house as their trainer. He probably had all types of access. Ali, I agree with 50 Cent. I think the feds released it because they knew he wouldn't be charged, but they wanted to expose him. I'm going to say this. I don't know if the feds did it, but I'm going to say this. Most people don't lead out with their most damning evidence. You understand what I'm saying? So if let's just walk down that road for a minute. Let's walk down the road that it was the feds, right? Let's walk down that road. If it was the feds, you think they would have dropped their most explosive video first? NBC News said what, Liz? Lisa, I'm sorry, Lisa. NBC News said what? I think I don't think that. So let's walk again. We're walking down the road that it was the feds. I don't know if it was the feds, but let's walk down that road. If it were the feds, I don't think it was the feds either way, Speeds. I really don't think it was the fed job. But let's just walk down that road. If it was the feds, and I guess people's theory is that it was the feds because they got it when they raided Diddy's house, right? Why would they drop their if that's the worst that they found? Let's just say that. If that was the worst that they found, why would that be what they would release? NBC News said the FBI found it when they raided his house. That doesn't I want to know who sent it to CNN, and I do not think it was the Reds. I mean the feds. I don't think it was the feds. That is my opinion. I think that I don't think it was the feds. I just don't. But I do think that there's worse out there. That's what I do think. Now, if the case had been going on and this had been played in court, then that'd be one thing. But for the feds to leak it, I just don't think it was the feds. I don't think it was Lil Rod because Lil Rod's grimy attorney would have put it in the lawsuit. Child, if Lil Rod had that video, child, that thing, we'd have been seeing that thing. Maybe because they can't charge him for this one because it's been so long, but I don't think it was the feds. Yeah, I just don't think it was the feds. Hey, Citizen Jane, thank you for renewing your membership because you were a member before. So thank you for renewing your membership, my love. I wonder if there's more. Now that I believe. I believe there's more damning. I don't think that's the worst that they found. Remember the other things that Cassie accused him of in that lawsuit, right? Remember, we don't even have 100 likes now. Come on, Don Don, that ain't true. Don Don, that ain't true. I know that's not true, Don Don. Let's go back to Cassie's lawsuit, y'all. Remember the other things. We might have to go back and revisit Cassie's lawsuit. We might have to go back and read it again, y'all. But let's go back and revisit what was in Cassie's lawsuit. Remember the other things she accused him of having. Remember she accused him of having SEX tapes. She accused him of having pictures. Remember she said he used those as tactics. Yes, you done hit your 12 months. Thank you for being a member for 12 months. I appreciate you. I appreciate y'all's support. Thank you. Remember she said that he would use those as threats if she tried to leave him, that he would expose it. Remember that? Remember he said he had a phone. She said he had a phone full of videos of her and pictures of her. Remember that? So that video, if it's true, which I believe it to be true, if it's true, if the feds found that video, what other videos did the feds find, y'all? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So for me, let's get to Diddy's video. I mean, and apology. First of all, can we talk about? I really wish I. Can we talk about the manipulation of that video? So first of all, Diddy is all in the camera, right? He is facing the camera, looking like he ain't slept in 20 years, bags under his eyes, looking all ashy, right? So let's start with the visual manipulation of that video. He wants us to automatically feel sorry for him, right? He wants us to automatically look at him and be like, oh no, oh no, look at Diddy. That's number one. Number two, the video was only a minute and some change long, right? I'm so sorry. I was in a really dark place. I had to go to rehab. Well, let me say this: the video I saw wasn't that long. Maybe there's a longer version. Let me say that the video I saw wasn't that long. Um, um, said he had to go to rehab. Rehab for what? Did he? Rehab for what? Alcohol, drugs, sex, violence, anger management. Like you weren't even clear. Like it did. It just sounded so. I had to go to rehab. Rehab for what? Rehab for what? Because the reason why I say that's important for me, now it may not be important to other people, but for me, the reason why I say that's important is we've seen you drinking in the last, if that was 2016, almost 10 years, we've seen you drinking in the last 10 years. Hell, we've seen you smoking weed in the last 10 years, right? So when you say you went to rehab, rehab for what? Rehab for what in the last 10? So you went to rehab after that incident, but according to Cassie's lawsuit, this situation extended until the day she left. Right. They always go to rehab with church, but he didn't even, when he said I was in a dark place about what? A dark place why? A dark place when? A dark place how? Like, again, if you're going to come down here, first of all, he should have never done that. Like, I get it that he felt he felt pressure to come down and say something, but that wasn't the venue to do it. That wasn't the way to do it. That wasn't the venue to do it. Now, let's be clear. For most of us, we could care less when, where, or how he did it. Let's be clear. I don't think most of us in this chat right now care about how Diddy apologized. We don't care, right? We didn't care. Um, and that's it right there, Natalie. I'm gonna work my way there, Natalie. But you're right. You're absolutely correct, Natalie. I'm gonna work my way there. Hey, Winter. Jakes don't need to say, Jakes need to go and sit on, he need to stay right over there where he at. Stay over there to the Potter's house. Stay over there to the Potter's house. Right? Yeah, Jakes don't need to say nothing. Mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. So you come down here, you are purposefully looking crazy, right? Like I said, he's got the bags under his eyes. He had the camera close up in his face because he wanted us to see, you know, all of the cracks and crevices, right? No makeup, which contrary to no filter, none of that, right? He didn't do any of that. Then you give us this minute and a half. Like I said, if it was longer, I didn't see the longer version, but you give us this minute and a half bullshit. I'm sorry. I was in a dark place. I really apologize. I went to rehab. I'm not expecting any forgiveness. I'm glad. I'm so glad you're not expecting it because you're not getting it from me. Um, I can't speak for y'all, but you ain't getting it from me. So, as far as I know, people keep trying to say that he's in Bali. I do not believe he's in Bali. I know his son right now is in Brazil. Now I saw something on the Neighborhood Talk or the Shade Room or one of them places before I went live. That said he's in Miami. So I don't know where Diddy is. I do not think Diddy's in Bali. I don't think he's in Bali. But shit, I don't know. I don't know his itinerary. Someone was coaching him, or there was some cue cards. Well, it was only a minute long. I don't know. I don't feel like. I mean, what kind of right? That's what I'm saying. Diddy was spotted in Miami today, y'all. So I don't think that's a true. But again, I wasn't there, so I don't know where Diddy at. He don't check in with me. Please go back and check the lawsuit. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me read what this says. Hold on. Please go back and check the lawsuit. The feds are building a case for trafficking, RICO, and kidnapping. Go to TMZ. There are pics of him outside his home on Star Island walking with two Confederates. Okay. H. Brown, I have no idea what you're talking about. Which lawsuit do you want me to go back and read? Which lawsuit do you want me to go back and read? The the Lil Rod lawsuit or the Cassie lawsuit? Tell me which one you want me to go back and read. Then it says, They're building a case for trafficking, RICO, and kidnapping. Okay. Go to TMZ. There are pics of him outside of his home on Star Island walking with two Confederates. What are Confederates? I don't know what you mean. I'm not being funny. I really want to understand what you're saying. Confederate what? I don't know what Confederates are. Pardon my ignorance, but I need you to explain that part to me, please. So tell me which lawsuit you want me to read again. And please tell me what Confederates are. I don't know that slang. I don't know what that means. Okay. Okay. Let me scroll up. Okay. Okay. I've read Cassie's lawsuit. What do you want? You tell me to go back and read it again. I've read Cassie's lawsuit. What do you want me to read? I mean, what do you want me to know that's in Cassie's lawsuit? We read Cassie's lawsuit right here on my channel. We went line by line from beginning to end. It was very disturbing. Right, right. That's what I'm saying, Tracy. They literally had pictures of him today in Miami smoking weed. So I don't know what rehab he went to. You saying he was in? That's what I'm saying. We read the lawsuit. I'm not sure. H Brown wants me to. He or she. I don't want to be rude. Um, Here's the thing. They may be building a lawsuit against him. I don't know. They may very well be building I mean, they raided his house for something like that. I'm clear. They raided his house for a reason. And the thing we know about the feds, once they come knocking, they're really not looking. Once the feds show up, they're really not looking. They're really not looking. So do I expect that it's going to get worse for Diddy? Absolutely. Absolutely. I know that the law enforcement, the LA district attorneys basically let us know that there's really nothing they can do because this is outside of the statute of limitations. Yeah, they're not going to do nothing because the feds told them to stand down. The feds told them to stand down. We got this. The feds told them, we got this. We got this. You know what I'm saying? I took it as he went to rehab in the past and sought help. Well, child, it ain't work. TMZ did a documentary. It's on Tubi, child. I'm not watching nothing on Tubi. So that was his apology, right? Confederates equals supporters, paid associates. Okay. Okay. If they're really looking for him, can't they go back to raid his house again? Nobody's looking for Diddy. Nobody is looking for Diddy. He is in Miami. They found him. He's in Miami. He's not a fugitive. There's no warrant out for his arrest as of right now. Like, he's not a fugitive, y'all. I think here's the thing. Time will tell. Give it time, y'all. Give it time. The feds have raided both of his houses. They were looking for something or some things. Do I think they found stuff? Absolutely. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Right. They know where Diddy is. Let's be clear. Have y'all not noticed that Diddy hasn't left Miami? Diddy has not left Miami. I think Diddy's been told stay put. Because you think Diddy doesn't have the money and the resources to have gone anywhere he wanted to go by now. Diddy has been, to my knowledge, again, he doesn't check in with me, but to my knowledge, Diddy has been in Miami since this all went down. Remember, he was supposed to be taking the twins on spring break. That was spring break. They were leaving for spring break. But he stopped in Miami, and to my knowledge, he ain't left. He ain't left Miami. Yeah. So the raids were linked to ongoing investigation. Yeah, the raids are definitely. Listen, I'm not saying that Diddy's not under investigation. I'm just saying none of that is out yet. I mean, when I say none of that, I mean all we know is that his house was raided. That's all we know, y'all. We can add to it. We can speculate, but all we know is that legally, I'm not talking about the civil lawsuits. I'm not talking about the civil lawsuits. All we know legally is that his houses have been raided. You know what I'm saying? They may have confiscated his passport. Yeah, I don't know if they've confiscated his passport, but they have certainly told him, yeah, I need you to stay right there, bro. Yeah, he's been to my knowledge, he's been in Miami all this time. I don't even know if he's been back to LA. I mean, he may have, but I don't even know if all of the pictures and videos that we've seen from that since that raid he's been in Miami. So the thing, you guys, so from my understanding, because y'all know I didn't go to nobody's law school, but from my understanding, excuse me, sorry, y'all. From my understanding, a lot of this stuff is tricky because you need you have to have the proof, and they have to build a case, and it has to be stuff that's within whatever the guidelines are as far as timelines, as far as statute of limitations, that kind of thing. Like I I think what we're not paying attention to is, remember Diddy's associate was arrested remember when they arrested him, the guy that Lil Rod said was Diddy's drug mule. Remember him? Remember he got arrested that day, the day of the raids? Y'all see he didn't already cop the plea, right? Y'all see he didn't already cop the plea. See, that's the kind of stuff that we need to be paying attention to. What did he agree to give the feds? The raid was what, a month ago? So in less than a month, he didn't already cop the plea, y'all. Hello? They say he's not going to do any jail time. Hello? Now, granted, I think it might be, his first offense and all that great stuff. But y'all know how this works. If they trying to get a bigger fish and he low man on the totem pole, and it's been less than a month, he barely had an arraignment. He barely had an arraignment. And they said he already copped the plea, he ain't gonna do no jail time. Child, that's the stuff people need to be, ain't nobody talking about that. That's the stuff people need to be paying attention to. Bruh, what did you promise the federales? What did you promise the federales? Because if allegedly, let's go down that road. Let's go down the road. If this guy was caught allegedly trying to board a plane that was getting ready to leave the United States, which means international waters, and if he had enough drugs on him when they arrested him that they got him for trafficking, so now that's international, right? You would get ready to leave the United States with more than personal use. But all of a sudden, a month later, you ain't gonna serve no jail time? Okay. Well, I understand that he got the complexion I understand he got the right complexion. I get that. But I'm just saying, if we on this Diddy road that they're trying to get Diddy, in my opinion, I honestly think Diddy is the one they're going after. Otherwise, they will be talking to him. He is the big fish. Let them tell it now. It wasn't that much. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it ain't that much now. Mm-hmm. Diddy ain't gonna snitch. He know why this is happening. They have to keep him quiet. Them videos ain't coming out. Them videos got all them high up people. That's why they got them. His son was dry stitching on the 50 Cent diss track. I'm gonna need Lil Diddy to go sit down somewhere. Hey, Mims. What you saying? I called really 96 hours ago with no return call. I would be a ditch somewhere. She is no longer my emergency contact. Thank you for the super chat. I should have never been your emergency contact. I'm sorry. You not been out of town all weekend. You probably called when I wasn't available to talk. Mm, Child, I'm not paying attention. Well, I ain't gonna say I'm not paying attention to Kanye. I'm just saying it was just some gummies and a little bit of something else. Then they would have never arrested him. They would have never arrested him. Work in progress. They would have never arrested him. If it wasn't nothing, they never would have arrested him. Mm-mm. And they certainly wouldn't have arraigned him. If they, or even if they had arrested him, they took him down there and it was just some gummies and a couple of pills. They would. It would no. Mm-mm. Nah. Mm-mm. Tracy. Tracy. All right, y'all. Let me see. I'm gonna drop the link for a few minutes. Let me see if I can figure out how to do it from my. Oh shoot! What just fell on the floor? Oh, that might have been the remote for the TV. All right, y'all. Let me figure this out. Okay, hold on. Guest. Invite guest. Oh, okay. There it is. Remember, you guys don't have to show your face, but I do have to verify before I bring you up on stage that you're a real person. Okay. 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 How do I post this? Oh, how do I type in my chat? Oh boy. Post a comment. There it is. Uh oh. What did I do wrong? Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. Invite guests. Copy. I copied it. Let me try this again. Select all. Let me try it this way. Let me show you. Let me show you the way to go. It's not posting. Why is it not? There it is. Paste. There it is. Okay. Don't listen to Tracy. Don't y'all listen to Tracy. Y'all stop listening to Tracy and Mims. Did my niece ever find her wallet? Girl, I don't even. That was from Christmas. Authentically young. I think she did find it. Now, where she found it, I don't remember, but I think she did find it. I need everybody in the chat to not listen to Tracy or Mims, please and thank you. Matter of fact, why do I even have that up here? I'm gonna need everybody in the chat to not listen to Tracy or Mims, please and thank you. Jane, okay, hold on. I see you backstage. Give me a second. Let me put a screen up. Okay.
Can you see me?
Jane,
Yeah, can you see
I can
me?
hear you. Yeah, I can see you now. Okay, turn the camera off.
Okay, thank you, baby.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, I was watching a live earlier today, and the first thing that I was pretty much disgusted by was even after seeing the video, and apologies, the number of these nignogs who are still out there trying to say that women will put up with anything for money. And they were like, "Why do you feel sympathy for Cassie? She's following a billionaire around, and she got $30 million, so this should be a dead issue." And my problem with this is not just the problem with DV, but this is a cultural problem, because you shouldn't have to literally be traumatized by seeing it after she, and I'm sure at great personal emotional cost, went through explicit detail in that lawsuit. And I'm sure that's not the worst of it. That's the part that I'm sure of. I can't prove it, but that's not every little thing. That is just what she personally can substantiate. Because we all know when you deal with toxic personalities, you got like a list of 101 things that they have done over the years. I should have seen it then. I should have seen it then. And remember when this happened. I've heard all types of crazy stories are coming out. And the first thing I want to say is that I think that Diddy apologized. I mean, apology was based on his ego. I think he's going against advice because guys like him, they figure y'all know what y'all talking about. I've beat worse raps before. I'm gonna talk to the people. I'm gonna be real contrite. I mean, Kelly Price already like we should pray for him. Girl, I'm tired. I'm just tired. How many times does this have to happen? We went through it with Rihanna and Chris Brown. How many more girls are we going through? We went through it earlier this year with Keke Palmer. How many more women in the community, famous women, beautiful women, have to go through this experience before we say enough? This is unacceptable. It is not until even, excuse me, even now people are going, well, see, I wasn't really supporting Diddy. I was just saying that we shouldn't um, condemn him if there were no charges filed. And everybody in 2024 is well aware that it's fear that leaving an abusive partner is an extremely difficult thing for regular people, not to mention somebody who has the ability to show up in a helicopter in a roof on your building or to blow up your new boyfriend's car. I mean, everybody keeps acting like these are isolated incidents, and it literally, people have to have their noses shoved in it and rubbed in it for somebody to say, oh, wow, he's a bad guy. That's sick. That's really sick. I'm not saying I'm in favor of,
Rants and rambles, is that you?
oh,
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm just I'm gonna let you go next after Jane gets done.
I'm not saying I'm in favor of canceling, but the truth is, we've all heard the same stories. We've all seen the same variations of the same evidence. It wouldn't take a normal woman this much to convict somebody or to get them or to get away from them. And and what's upsetting to me is the number of people who are saying, well, she could have left at any time, but she kept going back. It looked like the woman was sneaking out the hotel room with no shoes on. We've seen her in the corner huddled up with a blanket over her head, hiding her face. What, I don't know what more people need to say. The girl, he was not planning on letting her go. He met her when she was 19. Her brain wasn't fully developed. Apparently, a lot of y'all have never been love bombed. So I'm going to land my plane on this. When someone love bombs you, they can convince you, especially if you're very young like that you are the best thing in the world. The sun rises and sets upon you, that you are destined, and that this is the love that you read about in all of those, that you see in all of those black love stories. And you know what I'm talking about. And so when you get that, and you get a lot of that, I don't know how Cassie grew up completely, but when you get that and you get a lot of that from a rich man, it sounds like a fairy tale. You feel like you live in a fairy tale until you get the dark side. And by that time that you've gotten all of that princess treatment, you don't know the demon is there. and you start little by little ignoring the bad signs. Full disclosure, I have never personally been abused because I'd probably be in jail right now because I would go John Wick, Kaiser Sose on somebody if they did it to me or mine. I mean, everybody, even the people that owe you money are going to have to go. I'm not lying. Okay. And I probably shouldn't have said that on recording. But my point is that it's obvious the feds are building a bigger case because just based on the little we know, a lot of that skirts very close to illegal activity, if even 10% of that is true.
Mhm. Mhm.
Then 10%.
Okay. No, go ahead. I was going to say, okay, let Rants and Rambles go ahead.
Oh, I was that's why I was stopping.
Oh, no problem. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your patience, babe. What you got, Rants? What you got, babe?
Hey, how y'all feeling?
I'm good.
Um, this was there's uh, a problem for me when it comes to like this case. Watching people like one, I don't know how to like they romanticize over like abuse in a sense, and I'm not saying it like it's like they're glorifying it. I'm saying it like they had this weird thing with it's almost like because it's a celebrity, not a real person, and then they can add on to and create these narratives, and then they can just run with it. And my biggest issue is kind of like is that, and then it's like I feel like we got into a point in our like in social media where we don't believe shit. Excuse me, like you don't believe anything unless it's on camera. Y'all don't
Mhm.
like people did not believe what this girl was saying, and they were doubting what this girl was saying, despite the fact we've been knowing about Diddy since I was a child. We about Diddy since I was a child. Y'all can believe, and then to like further the point, y'all believe that that man was gay before y'all believe he put his hands on Cassie. Y'all believe that man was running a sex ring before y'all believe he was putting his hands on Cassie. Y'all believe all these other wild things that even went against when that man came up with his lawsuit, that went against what we actually know, saying that he saw a sex tape involving Stevie J, but we turned out false, saying that Kim Porter was the reason. Kim Porter sent Cassie a videotape, even though everybody in the mama know that Kim Porter and Cassie ain't never like each other. But y'all can believe all of that. But this lady said this man was putting his hands on me, and he was over here and pimping me out. You heard bad boys, other bad boys, say that. Oh yeah, we used to have sex playing Diddy all the time and all this extra stuff. But it was so believed that Cassie was getting abused up until the point you saw this man stop on the ground.
I
This
agree.
that bothers me, and even now, y'all still like people are still trying to. I saw a TikTok video, and somebody said, "Well, I talked to somebody who into BDSM, and they say, they was really feeling like that. Like y'all, what is wrong with y'all?"
Well, I saw somebody yesterday try to say it was AI. I said, well, Diddy then came out and admitted it was him. So can we stop
And
that
that's the thing that
conversation?
killed me. Like y'all doing all this, and this man turning around, come out and say, "I'm sorry." Don't even really say her name. Don't even give her the recognition that she deserves. Don't give her the apology that she deserves. And it don't really matter because right after she came out and y'all done settled a day after, you put up that press release saying all these things are just a money grab. Like, what is wrong with our generation or of society where we just rather make up fairy tales and believe these grandeur theories and thoughts than actually look what is in front of us, which is this is a man drunk on power, nine times out of ten high out of his mind, and is taking advantage of anybody and everybody that he can. Oh,
Because that's not sexy. That's not sexy. And a lot of people said, I know you heard when Chris Brown had his situation. There are women who were on record saying he could beat me up anytime. I have heard people say stuff like that about Cassie's situation. And the same thing you just said, there are people who will say, I that they heard, quote unquote, she was into S&M and she was doing drugs before Diddy and she loved it, etc. And I'm like, she don't look like a woman who was loving it. Even 50 Cent said that when he was sent the pictures, he was like, did you know about this? He said,
And see, that bothers me too. How many celebrities we know beat on her and they know about it and just ain't saying nothing until now? Like, what do you guys think about that? How many celebrities do you think knew about this?
I think if we knew how many people knew about this, participated in this, saw it. Now, the bigger thing is, because I know people who have been in this position, they've seen it and they said, that's between that man and that woman. I ain't getting in it. It ain't my business. I
I was
think
not wrong.
let's go down the list of, let's exhume Kim Porter. Let's let's find out some truth here. Let's really get to it. Does anybody really want to do that? Does anybody really want to know what's really going on? Or are we just really so invested in, being able to listen to Hypnotize and I'll be missing you without any guilt?
I mean, I feel like this. I don't, and it's not like this is not a defense for him. I don't like giving people more than what they deserve or what we know. And so for me, what I know about Diddy is enough. That video is enough. Before the video, the allegations were enough for me. Where it's like, oh, okay, I'm just not, And I love Last Night by Diddy and Keisha Cole. That's my summertime jam every
Yeah,
summer. I can't listen to
yeah,
it no more. Where it's like, oh, okay,
yeah.
I'm just not.
I'm checking to see if Really B is back. Can you
He
hear
is
us?
back.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know what happened, but thank y'all. Thank y'all for holding it down.
If there's one thing I can do is talk. But yeah, we were just talking about how people are attached. I was piggybacking on what Ramble was saying about people, how people are so attached to memories of the music that they, like he said, built this fantasy around the individual. And you couple that with the fantasies that we have about relationships and love and fairy tales we want to see come true. And then when we find out that people are human and sometimes evil, that we have a difficulty separating the two realities to the point
Mhm.
we rather
But
believe victims.
right, but that's what we always do, right? That's what we always do. That's what we did with Bill Cosby because we couldn't separate the man from Bill Cosby. I mean, from Heathcliff Huxtable, right? That's what we did with R. Kelly. That's what we did with or we've done with Chris Brown. We don't want to. And here's the reality of the situation. I'm not telling anybody what they have to do, but that is what we do. We don't want to separate what we have what we like about that person from who they may truly be behind closed doors. And at the end of the day, we don't know. And, going back to your first point, Jane, when you were speaking on people's inability to comprehend the cycle of abuse. I'm done even trying to explain it. Either you get it or you don't. The reality of the situation is there's a cycle of abuse, right? It doesn't matter how rich you are. We see women who are living in the projects getting beat up. So it's not about money. It's not about social standing. It doesn't make it any easier. It doesn't make it, just because he was rich didn't mean, oh, well, she was okay with getting beat up because he could buy her a nice purse when it was over. Like, no. At the end of the day, it is a cycle. And it wasn't hard for her to leave because it was hard for her to walk away from the material things. It's physical and it's emotional abuse over an extended period of time. What we have to remember is there's a honeymoon phase, right? There's a honeymoon phase when it comes to these type of predators. Life is good in the beginning. Everything is great in the beginning. He doesn't show who he truly is in the beginning. He groomed her. Remember, like you said, Jane, she was a teenager when she met him. Yeah, legal. She was legal, but she was a teenager. So at the end of the day, there were years where there was nothing sexual between them, and he was her mentor, and he was her boss, and he was her big brother, and he was all of these great things, and treated her really nice, and treated her family really nice, and did really great things. I'm sure the first assault did not happen immediately. And when it did, then it's the whole, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'll never do it again. It is a cycle. And also, since we want to go back to the lawsuit, again, I'm going to bring it up again. Let's go back to the lawsuit where she said that he threatened to expose a lot of the sexual things, right? So on top of you getting humiliated and being physically abused, now your abuser is threatening to tell the world, is threatening to show the world you at your worst moment, at your most vulnerable moment. And I'm sure she believed every word of it, because why wouldn't she? Why wouldn't she believe that this man would have exposed those videos? He wasn't in the videos. Remember? She said that he would videotape her with other men and videotape her with other women and in compromising situations. So why wouldn't she believe him? So on top of the other stuff, now you've got this blackmail as a part of it. So it really irritates me and it really pisses me off, especially when I hear women. Especially when it's women that want
Oh
to
my
always
God.
find a way to defend these black men, white men, whoever men that are abusing people, because but for the grace of God go I, you
Let's
know?
let's leave it on black men for a moment, because we have a unique problem, because we we idolize to the point making them like gods, like, because there aren't that many. And so any criticism comes for these men, it is automatically assumed that you are trying to take someone down. In this case, this whole month is the reason why they need to keep the humanities in school, because there is so much symbolic stuff that he was doing. Like, he kept buying her these gold Cartier bracelets, and he was filming her with these rows and rows of gold Cartier bracelets. And it's like, if you go back, it's a slave thing. It's like golden handcuffs.
I see you, Lily. I see you backstage. You can turn your camera off, babe.
It's like
Okay.
golden. He lit this, he lit these things, and he had the candles going. He had effects going. He had several cameras, several angles. This was his pet project. I don't know what psychodrama he was playing over his head, but he was working through something. This isn't like, if you watch anything about serial criminal behavior, this well behavior he developed time. This is something he has been honing and fantasizing about, and I'm sure he's gotten more and more violent as the years have gone on, because there was a thing, I had completely forgotten about this, where the first one, what's her name, Misha, he was kicking her under a car. He had a fight with her, and she went under a car to run from him, and he was kicking her. I don't know. I doubt there is no film evidence of it, but several people have substantiated it, and she says yes, it's true. So we've heard repeated stories about this. And the thing with Kim Porter never sat right with my spirit for a variety of different reasons. And I just hope, I really just hope that in some way in this she gets justice. I'm also wanting to know about Heavy D. I'm also wanting to know about Biggie, because it took us 20 years to figure out what happened to Tupac. It we're eventually gonna find out what happened to Biggie, what happened to Heavy, and what happened to Kim, because all three of those passings were very suspicious.
Hmm. Let me let Lily speak. Lily, thank you for your patience, my love. What you want to add, babe?
Hey, Really B, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hmm.
Okay, good. Hi, everybody on the panel. I haven't. I've been very disturbed. I didn't actually watch the video of the assault on Cassie because I just couldn't. It was
Right.
just, I heard about it when it broke, and I follow a bunch of YouTubers, including yourself. So I was kind of like going to see what everybody was saying about it because I just I maybe saw like the first 2 seconds of it and I was like, oh no, I know what's coming. I can't do this. So
Right.
I'm just going off of what I've seen on I guess on YouTube and whatnot. And then today, again through YouTube, I just saw like a few, maybe a minute or so of his quote unquote apology video,
Mm-hmm.
and that disgusted me as well. So I just tuned out because I don't believe any of it is sincere. It sounded very rehearsed. It had all the usual verbiage, right? I
Mm-hmm.
was going through a rough time, I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
rehab, I'm blah blah blah. So I was like,
Therapy.
okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, here we go again. Who wrote this for him? His PR people? Like, this is pathetic. So I tuned out. But I wanted to say, like, men like him, unfortunately, whatever's coming to him legally and whatnot, we don't know yet what the feds have on him. So while he won't be charged for this particular video because of the statute of limitations ran out, we've yet to see what the federal government has against him. So he's not completely out of
Mm-hmm.
the clear. Um, but I just feel like I'm a little bit cynical, especially when it comes to men, especially black men. And I'm sorry, but I just am. I'm a black woman, and I can say this. And I just feel like no matter what happens in the black community, sometimes with men who do horrible things like this, there are always going to be other men and some women that will support the person. And I get it. Like, it's sometimes, you want to give people the benefit of the doubt, or you want to, extend forgiveness or whatever. But in this case, like, it's not even about that. I think it's more about upholding them because they're black. And it's like, guys, black people are not a monolith, number one. And number two, it just seems like there's always going to be like, the manosphere is always going to support these guys, no matter what they do. And it kind of makes me sick as well, because I'm just like, why are we doing this? Why are we subscribing to groupthink? Why? Just because we're black? Like, I just find
Mm-hmm.
that excuse to be so old and tired and annoying. And it's like, no, we still have to hold people accountable. And even Peter Thomas and those guys, like, they're all horrible men as well. They've done their fair share of dirt. And for them to be coming back and backpedaling because, and only because it may affect them, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It may affect them if they don't come back and make it seem like, backpedal. It just makes me even more sick, because I'm like, you guys probably knew all of this stuff was going on. You didn't call them out on it. You didn't say anything, because, which is even worse, not saying anything, even with the knowledge that this was going on. And then when he gets into some kind of trouble, oh, we have to stand up for the black. It's not about standing up for the black man. It's about calling a thing. Like, why are you making excuses? And now that the video is out there, they have to come back and backpedal to cover their ass. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's just
I
frustrating.
understand.
it's like this cycle of bullshit and abuse that continues in the community. And I'm just kind of just over it, to be very honest with you. And all I can say is I hope Cassie and her family has support and love surrounding them, because I know, I just have a feeling she's going to battle this for the rest of her life. And I just hope that she finds peace and solace in her family and in her community that surrounds her. That's all I can hope for. Everything else is kind of out of our control, you know? And that's kind of where I'm coming from. So
I get
that's
it.
it.
Thank you. No, I agree with a lot of. I agree with what you're saying, and you know, people. I need people to. I don't know. We just have to put our personal biases because we all have them to a certain extent. But I agree with what you're saying, and yeah, don't watch the video because I definitely don't want you to be triggered because it will. It is definitely a warning. I would give everybody on that. Taya,
Yeah.
Hello,
hey,
panel. Hello, hello.
I
hey,
just want to
hey,
say
hey.
one more thing. I'm so sorry. I personally have not been a victim of domestic violence, thank God, but I can also empathize and sympathize with those who have been
Certainly.
survivors. I should
Mm-hmm.
say survivors, and it just, we got to do better. Like we really have to do better. This is not okay, you know what I'm saying? All these male
Mm-hmm.
identified women like going up for him, like, really? Why? You know, he wouldn't even look twice at you. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's so frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
But again, all I can do is just hope and pray that Cassie has the support and love, that, and everybody else that he's harmed, that they have
Yeah.
love and support around them. Thank you so much, Really B. I'm gonna drop down.
No problem. Thank you. Hey, Auntie. Hey, Boo. Thank you for coming through. That's Auntie's advice. I know if she hasn't already done a video on the apology. I know she did a video on the original video, but if she hasn't done one on the apology, I'm sure she's going to. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to Auntie's advice. That's my boo. Hey, Taya.
Hello, hello. I have a couple of running theories about how the video got released, but first I wanted to kind of
Okay.
piggyback on the last person's conver- uh, some of her comments. For one, it's like we do more protecting of our black men, even when they're wrong, than we do of the black woman. And in a
Mm,
lot of cases, it's not them being wrong; it's them being wronged.
mm,
And one of the biggest things that had stood out to me, let's say for like the R. Kelly situation, a lot of people were willing to defend him because there's a lot of R. Kellys that's in our neighborhoods dating our girlfriends back when we was
mm,
15 or 16. So in order to come out and try to cancel R. Kelly over it, that means you got to turn around and look and remember when, whether you're in that at that age, but mostly us now would be, adults. But just remembering back to when we were that age of those young girls, and either we were the young girl or one of our girlfriend was the young girl that was dating that older man.
mm-hmm.
The other, and then not only that, I mean, to take it a step further, like, I mean, for several years, women was what auctioned off for a mule or a horse. Like we were always looked at in that commodity type of light.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not, it's like, to some degree, they feel like that's what our value is because it's been used as a trade forever. The other
Right.
thing is, I was wondering if the feds leaked it just to see if that would make more people willing to come forward. I have
Mm,
another theory where maybe Diddy leaked it because his ego is big enough. He didn't already beat murder raps, blowing up stuff, and all of that. He might have leaked it just to show the people, like, listen, I told y'all I'm powerful. I can beat anything. I beat a murder rap. I
mm,
could beat this too. And I was over at Mim's house a little earlier, right before you came on. And one of the things Mims had pointed out was that he was seen today wearing the medallion or the picture of his dad, who was a known snitch. So to me, it might have also been a photo op. So that way he's wearing the medallion indirectly letting certain people know I will tell on you, just like my dad.
Oh, oh, now that is interesting. Now that's an interesting theory. Oh,
Because predators
oh.
like this, they do stuff in plain sight. And that's part of the power that they have over their victims. You know who I am. You know how much power I have. Look, see what I can do, and I can't get touched.
Now I tell you, now that theory is very interesting. That he was wearing his dad's medallion, and yes, his father was a drug dealer. His father ran with the what's
Lucas,
his name? Lucas, the
Lucas.
Lucas gang, right? He ran with the Lucas gang, and allegedly that's why his father was killed. Is because allegedly his father was snitching. So that is interesting. Now that is interesting.
Could I add something really quickly?
Cool, go ahead, babe.
It's a kind of sidebar to this, but when the last two ladies were talking, it reminded me of a conversation I had one of my friends recently when I talked about how like things like misogyny, xenophobia, homophobia, all those kind of resistances are like
Hmm.
just symptoms of white supremacy. And what I mean by that is, or births of white supremacy. And what I mean by that is, when the lady was talking about the R. Kelly situation, she talked about, which I just picked up on, is how we aged those girls. I remember Dame Dash even saying something like Aaliyah was 16, but she was moving like a 20-year-old or 30-year-old, and how grown she was. And when white people, as a correlation, when white people do something to a black child, or there's a black child being unfairly persecuted, the one thing you do see is that they age them up. That's not a little boy, that's a grown man, a teenager, or something like that, a young adult. They'll use these terminations to make them appear older than what they actually are. And that is a way to take off some of the responsibilities of the wrong person. You get what I'm saying? So it's just, I don't know. Like when I see other black men like just dog women out the way that they do, or try to justify some of the more malice things where we know if it was our mama, all hell would break loose.
Hmm.
But because it's not a woman that we care about, it's okay to say, all right, well, it's not a bitch I care about, so fuck her. Excuse my language, but I'm just, speaking in character.
Right, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it bothers me a lot. It really does. I don't know how, weird, or when this kind of manosphere, I, as a black man, like I've seen this. I've seen some black men say they are the most unprotected, black specifically, not just black men, black straight men are the most unprotected of everybody else because women have women's rights and gays have gay rights, but nobody cares about black men. And I'm like, man, nigga, if it's a black woman and you subtract the woman part, right? As you say, the woman is protected. She just
And,
black, just like
and
you are,
And you know what?
right?
I don't want to go too far off topic, but real quick, there
Oh,
was some more black men that was bashing. What's her name? Brianna Greener, the one that was trapped over in
oh my
Russia, locked
God.
up in Russia.
Oh
It
my
was more
God.
black men. But if that was a male athlete, they wouldn't have bashed him like that.
Oh, she was dumb. She shouldn't have smoked. She knew better. Da da da. This, leave her locked up. Oh, that's a
Mhm.
grown man. Da, da, like so much shit against this woman who had something that she was legally allowed to have, and she just forgot to take it out before she went over to Russia.
Right.
Like,
But I remember when who was it? The coach for the Dallas Cowboys had a whole loaded weapon in his luggage, and he was
Bugs
just
Bunny,
like, "Oh man, my bad. I just forgot to take it out my bag," and nobody blinked the eye. I mean, they made a
Bugs
couple of
Bunny.
jokes about it, but they went on about their business. So you're right. Like it's definitely we know that we know that.
What's
So they
little?
said it was Nicky Barnes, not Frank Lucas. I want to clear that up. His dad ran with Nicky Barnes's people. Okay.
What's the little shoot 'em up boy? John Morant got caught how many times with guns? How many times?
Right.
He can't put
Right.
shit down. And we give passes. We are so willing because again, y'all want to. I really like outside of this, like everything else. Like my dad is Nigerian. I grew up, in a Nigerian household. I've always said since sometimes when I see like certain black men, they act like white men.
Mm-hmm.
They act just like white men. Like I really do feel like, and not just I want to see these black men. I've seen some black men, but like I've seen a lot of the white antics of, oh well, it's always woe is me. Everybody hates me. Oh, I can't exist as a black man in America. Oh, I can't say this as a black man in America. Oh, I can't. Yes, you can. You know you can. You know shit too. Shut up.
Can I also circle back and say something? Um, yeah, I think we need to have an honest conversation about pretty girls who grew up in the hood or who grew up in the culture. I will tell you from my own experience that the first time I was ever hit on by a man, I was 11 years old, going to the store before church, carrying a Barbie doll. Carrying a Barbie doll.
There
And
used to be a saying around the way, old enough to pee, old enough for me.
yeah, and when I told
Wait, what? That's
old
not funny. But what?
old enough,
I mean, yeah, there used to be a saying around the way, old enough to pee, old enough for me. Like
I thought
certain
everybody
older
said it was
guys
shit.
has that mindset.
and
But
and the,
I'm sorry, I interrupted.
no, the reason I bring this up is because the way boys get out the hood is through sports or through entertainment. The way girls get out the hood is through their beauty. Let's be perfectly honest with each other that from a very young age, as soon as a girl catches the attention of the grown men of the community, she has a choice to make. A lot of girls use their beauty the same way boys use their athletic talents to get about the girl. And I'm really tired of people acting like girls, there's something wrong with these young girls who grew up with little or nothing, who um, find themselves in a position to come up with a little something and make them ashamed because they were able to get move forward in life through no fault of their own, through the sheer um, lottery of genetics. It's not their fault. Cassie's fault. It's not Cassie's fault. She looks the way she does. Yeah, she could have been a nun, but the truth of the matter is, most of us would take advantage of what God gives us, whether it's our brains, our abilities, or our looks. And I'm really tired of people acting like these pretty girls they prey on, whether it's Aaliyah, whether it's Rihanna, all of the industry girls, all of them got into the industry when they were 15 years old. It in that position, yes, you are around older men. Who you gonna date? Who are you gonna date? Is she going to date the boy in her high school? Because if she ends up, if someone like Cassie ends up with the bus driver, you say she wasted her beauty. You say that she's a loser because she didn't capitalize on it. But when she capitalizes on it and it goes wrong and in some way she's abused, it's always her fault. And I have not figured out why this is, because it seems so blatantly unfair for you to tell women you got until 35 and you over the wall and you better get them while you're young. And we don't want to address the fact that and I'm fully grown, and we don't want to address the fact that these high school girls and these high schools are surrounded by cars of grown men by our society standards who are dating these girls with their parents' blessings. Why? Because hopefully, maybe she can marry them. And we know the truth is, most of the time, she'll just be lucky if she gets a baby and becomes a baby mama. And the real reason, Cassie, in part, wasn't let go, in my opinion, is because he wanted to make her so debased that no man in the industry would want her. That's why he was sending people the different pictures, because if she ever got loose from Diddy, he didn't want anybody else to want her because they had seen her being smutted out. And I think that somebody, maybe not the feds, my theory is that he is so reckless with sharing certain things that I think somebody kept it and held it or copied it and had a copy and they licked it. But I suspect there would be more coming. I really
And
suspect.
did we determine whether or not that lady that spoke out, she was supposed to be Kim Porter's friend, and she was talking about how Cassie used to taunt Kim and he would play the two of them against each other, but she was supposed to be Kim Porter's friend. I didn't like
Booth,
whatever she came
You
out and said
a
as
color,
far I thought
please.
huh?
you
You talking
mean
about Cola Booth?
The
Yeah,
one
that's
that
what
was
she's talking.
saying no, it's I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was about to say, if it's, you talking about Cola Booth, please take everything that she says, and I do mean this, with an
Grain of salt.
extreme grain of salt, because
But no,
her
but my
industry
thing
ain't
is,
always nice.
even if she was, even whether she's really the friend or not, I had no issue with her coming out saying, "Oh yeah, when Kim used to tell me X, Y, Z." I didn't like the part where, and I felt like it was like her re-victimizing Cassie, making it. She was victim shaming, but I think she did. I felt like she did it in a backhanded way because why did we need the tampon detail?
Because it's Cola.
Mm.
So,
Autumn's mom. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Taya. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry.
no, I was
And it was
Nicola is a colorism advocate, and she has a lot of issues around that. But what I'll say is with Cola, Jaguar Wright, even Kanye, um, there's a lot of crazy people tell the truth, and
No,
personally, a lot. Let me just say, it's been they maybe it's a question of a wrong clock being right twice a day. But the truth of the matter is that that is a humiliation that would not surprise me coming from the source. Being perpetrated by Diddy. That
sister, I don't want to push back too hard on you because I almost like I'm attacking your thoughts and opinions. I respect everybody's opinions and how they think. I personally have issues, and this is me with being, I work with people with mental health issues, and I'm a mental health advocate. I hate when we can see somebody who is clearly going through things, but we allow them to speak or we feed into these delusions because they are saying things that sounds tantalizing or sounds like something that we would like to believe. Because let's be very clear here. Jaguar Wright ain't been really in the industry in well over a decade. Half the stuff she's saying, she's starting to pull out her tail. It don't make sense. It's not ties nothing. She don't have no inside connect. She don't have that. Kanye West is a pariah within his community. I'm not saying everything he's saying is incorrect, but I am saying that there's been enough times that Kanye West has made an ass out of himself where we should start to question the things that he say, especially during the times that he says it. Because a lot of times there's a triggering effect that causes his manic episodes that we're watching. But we like to say, oh, it's Kanye, oh, it's Jaguar, they were in the industry, so they must know something. No, they don't. No, they don't. And it's okay to just dismiss some people because we know they're crazy. And I'm not trying to say or be like mean to them or something like that, but we have to stop saying, "Oh, well, it got to sound crazy." Sometimes the craziest things must be true. If it's not a lick of evidence to go with that, we are besmirching somebody's name with no reason. There are
I
people
think
right
it's
now
because
trying
we
to
all
tear
watched that
down,
movie called Conspiracy Theory. I think that's what it is.
and that's what it is. I hate to say this, but some people want to sound smarter than what they actually are. Some people never got that
attention.
that a scholar attention attention that they desired in school. They didn't get that, and I'm not trying to be mean, but like sometimes the truth is right there in your face, and y'all choose not to believe it because that's what everybody else believes. You're not different.
I'm
You're not special. Shut up.
I'm not going to disagree with you on that. The thing that's interesting though is how can I put this?
Wait a minute,
Mm.
Jane. Wait a minute, hold on, y'all, because I'm gonna give Autumn a chance to speak.
Oh, I didn't see. I
Um,
I'm
apologize.
sorry,
yeah.
Hi,
Autumn.
everybody.
No, you guys are fine. You guys are fine. But I know y'all were getting ready. I want to give Autumn a chance to speak. Autumn, thank you for coming up again. And thank you for your patience. What you want to add, babe?
Okay, I'm gonna start where we're at. I agree. I don't have my glasses on and I can't see my screen, so I don't know the gentleman's name that was just talking. Excuse me. I just want to say I agree with you. Um, I agree with you, and I do believe Jaguar was right about certain stuff. Kanye is right about certain stuff. Okay, what people have to remember is when you're dealing with people with mental disability, some people they say there's a fine line between insanity and genius, right? Some people
Mm-hmm.
are just off their meds, right? So we'll never know. But with all of that being said, this woman, Cola Booth, I think her name was, she irked my nerves so bad. And I don't even think it was her per se, because crazy is as crazy does, right? I think it was more so the recklessness of the internet that ran with this story that she came up with just because of the tampon statement that made it so
So
salacious, right?
salacious.
Right. So
Mm-hmm.
everybody jumped on it. But when you go back, who is this lady? Okay, supposedly she dated Osama bin Laden, this, that, and third. Does anybody have a picture with her and Kim? No, because she even came out and said in a post she never met Kim. She literally met her one time at a charity event. She did not know her. That's what she said. Excuse me. She said she met her one time, but she didn't know her. So how did when she passed and you made a post about her during her passing, you stated you didn't know her, but all these years later, now she divulged her deepest, darkest secrets to you? It doesn't pass the smell test. And like the gentleman was saying, we got to stop jumping on the first thing that we hear. We didn't need no more to make us believe how bad this situation is. And let's just say this, because when I first heard the story, even if it was true, even if what she said was true, I wouldn't have blamed Cassie for that. I would have blamed Diddy for that, because once again, it's a power dynamic. I believe he would have made her do that. Anything at that point, it would have been under his control. Also, do you guys remember? I believe it was Gene Deal that came out. I might be mistaken. Someone came out and did an interview and said that they had asked Kim about how she felt about Cassie, and Kim actually said she felt sorry for Cassie because she has it much worse than she ever did. Matter of fact, it wasn't Gene Deal. It was that last friend of Kim's that came out that had said that she believed that Diddy had did something to her. So she said that Kim said that she felt sorry for Cassie. With all that being said, where we're at today, this was extremely traumatizing for the masses, whether you have experienced DV or not. I think at the end of the day, it was no shock, because when a person shows you who they are, you believe them. I'm glad that it's finally all starting to come out in the wash, and whatever justice, whether he ever sees the inside of a cell or not, the fact that everybody knows the truth now, and hopefully his day of reign is over. That for me is good enough. But when I hear people say, oh, well, they accept his apology, this, that, and the third, first of all, it's not for you to accept. He didn't lay
Right.
hands on you. The person
Right.
that he laid hands on, he didn't even say her name in the apology. So that wasn't an apology. That was just a statement for the public. So he could miss us all with that.
There you
Okay.
go.
I,
There you
I have a working question that I've been struggling with. So if y'all don't mind, I'm gonna ask you, because I'm just curious of your opinions, because everybody on here, just your opinion sounds really cool. Um, but now there's two sides of like the celebrities who may have known at the time and has sat silent this whole time. So for them to speak out now, would you be upset with them for speaking out now, or would you be glad that they just finally came forward with whatever information they had?
For me, if it leads to a different conviction, something they can hold him to, then yeah, don't tell us about stuff that happened before 2016 because we know right now that's not going to hold no water. We need something that could be charged and put him in jail. So if you don't have nothing that's present that we can move forward with, keep your mouth closed. I don't even see this thing is so deep and it goes so like big because you have grown men that you allegedly say that he forced them to do stuff. So if they couldn't defend themselves, how do we expect them to help a woman? You see what I'm saying? So the power dynamics are so twisted. So I can't say that, oh, well, this one should have done more, this, that, and third. There's a lot of people that could have done. I'm talking about record executives, people with power that matched his power that could have done stuff. But the regular people that was on the same
Yeah.
line and just saw stuff, if the people with the power didn't do nothing, what were they going to do? You see what I'm saying? Also the thing with Cassie, people like, oh, well, why she stayed? She must have wanted the money. We literally saw that woman run out in the hallway with no shoes on, with a pocketbook and a little, not even a duffel bag. It really was just a little bag, trying to leave with nothing. And he came and dragged her down the hallway. Come on. So if you can't get away, you can't get away. And then she also said how he threatened her parents, this, that, and the third. And then that was just, it wasn't just him. Remember, it was like a whole corporation. She said he had lawyers calling her and people in the industry calling her saying, you need to go back. You need to go back. Things like this make me so grateful that I come from a big family. Because but for God, there go I. But see, I had plenty of people I could have picked up the phone and called, and it would have went down a toodaloo, and people would have been coming out the woodworks. Unfortunately, everybody doesn't have that. So that's why when people sit there and say, "Oh, it could have never been me," I would never fix my mouth and say something such a thing because who knows? But for God, there go I. I just wish that for me, it's not even the toxic men right now that are getting under my skin because they're going to do what they do. They're going to believe what they believe. For me, which is saddening and getting under my skin, it's these women, these supposed women, traumatized women, um, just trying to be apologists for him and this, that, and the third. I don't know who they are, what they went through, but I am hoping that they get some help and get some healing energy because if this is who we have to share our world with, we're in trouble.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I'm gonna say this. Oh, we lost somebody. Okay, we lost Taya. So I'm gonna say this, you guys, and then we're gonna get up off here. We've been over here an hour and a half, but I feel again, as for the apology, he could have kept it. As for, like you said, he didn't even say her name, so I don't know what kind of apology that is. The fact that he vehemently denied it and said this was just a money grab, again, just speaks to the inauthenticity of the apology, because had the video never surfaced, you never would have changed your tune. You never would have said anything different. You came out here, you were talking about the truth will be revealed, and you've been very clear about you're innocent, 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 and you knew this video existed. Like, you knew this video existed. So I just feel like, for me, where I sit, I'm just going to sit back and wait, because I do think more is coming. This is definitely not the end, in my opinion. And as far as your Taya's question about how I would feel about people coming out and speaking, again, I think for me, it would be situational. And so what I mean by that is, so for example, if it was somebody like a Mary J. Blige, right, who herself has been through, we've seen documented abusive relationships, drug addiction, power dynamics within the industry. I mean, we know that for a while her and Diddy were estranged, and then they made up. We never really knew what happened with that relationship and why it was estranged. So, if it were a situation like that, I mean, I don't, I'm in no position to forgive anybody. Like he didn't violate me, but I probably would not be as harsh. But I also want us to remember that people have been speaking. And when I say we, I mean we as a society just didn't believe them. Gene Deal has been speaking for years.
That's
Audrey O'Day has been speaking for years. Craig Mack has been speaking. Like people have made these statements about Diddy being, being all of the things that we've heard. The rumors have been out there. Like people have spoken. We chose, and again, I'm saying we as a society, we chose to not accept it because we couldn't wrap our brain around the fact that it was true. So with that being said, it's not that nobody said anything. And again, if I see that somebody else was brave enough to speak and nobody believed them, why would I come out? Like, why would I put that in? Why would I come out and put myself in that position to one, lose my career, and two, nobody believed me?
That's true.
So I don't judge anybody. I mean, who am I to judge? Because again, people did come out, and when we look at the people who came out, look at what happened to them. They lost everything. They lost everything.
And some of them lost
So,
their lives. Hello.
and some of them lost their lives. Exactly.
hmm And then for all those people that say, "Oh, let God," well, all everybody. Well, I'm a Christian. I believe in God. He'll take care of it. But on this side, I believe that justice can also be served. So, with that being said, for everybody that wants to forgive him and he didn't put his hands on you, why don't you let him feel go kick your head and let me know if you have that same opinion after you get kicked in your head?
Mm.
Right. Right.
And so
Exactly.
I feel like pushback on that. Not the same this man because I do feel like after him play. But you could. Mm, I'm trying to word this the right way. There are some people who generally feel as though forgiveness is the answer, and if that is how they interpret the word, I can't fault them for that. I can't fault you because you believe that forgiveness is the way, and no matter what a person does, there's always a chance for redemption. I am not there in my Christian journey, nor do I think I will ever be. I know I don't hold hatred in my heart. That is something that's been very hard for me to do, or like to hold a grudge. I can't do that. That's not me. But I know I can't forgive everybody for everything. But there are some people who generally just are that forgiving. They will
Mm.
always accept it. They will always take it back. They will turn the other cheek because they believe that's how you're supposed to be Christ-like.
hmm Well, we
I don't
saw it
agree to
at
that,
the church
but
when the guy came in and massacred everybody in there, the 9 people, and then the family before they even did the funeral services was out there talking about that they
I'm not here.
forgive.
I'm
Yeah,
not
that's
here
a
to tell you
different
how to
level,
Christian. I'm not
right?
here to tell you how to Christian.
But see, this is the thing. There's a difference between forgiving and forgetting. I can forgive you doesn't mean that you shouldn't be held accountable or punished for it.
No,
That's it.
Yeah, I'm not
I agree.
forgiving.
But like
I'm
I
with
know, I
Rants and
think people
Rambles. I'm not there yet in my Christian
right
walk. Sorry,
because I saw the Kelly Price apology. We saw the prayer.
girl.
I see Big
Child, I
Kels.
listen to Kelly Price with Kelly Price banned from Ava's ass. Ask her to go get a rental
Wait, did
car.
she forgive her family for when they was looking for her when she was missing?
Don't
Look,
right? Did you forgive your family for looking for you, thinking you had COVID and you was dead somewhere?
We
Oh,
we need
exactly. Like, come on.
we
But
need
thanks, Really
oh,
B, for doing this open panel. As I will say, I can feel the air is thick. A lot of people, I think it touched a lot of people in a lot of different ways. It,
Hmm.
I think it feels real solemn. You know what I mean? Like everybody, whether they believed it or didn't believe it, seeing it was something different, and we didn't want to see it. I didn't need to see it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So, but thank you for giving us a safe place to be able to share our thoughts and have an open discussion about it. Because as you see, everybody and their mama's doing content on it and giving
Hmm.
their opinion, but it hasn't been a point where us, the audience, has been able to join in and give our, thoughts and opinions as well. So I think I know for me, I needed that. Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming up. I appreciate your input. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Rants and Rambles and Jane, you guys always come up and give a perspective, and I appreciate that as well. I'm going to get off of here. You guys been up here almost 2 hours, but thank y'all for coming up. Thank you for the chat for being here.
thank
And
you.
I will check in with you guys tomorrow evening I'll be back home. Yes, it's me, Kim. I'm speaking low because I'm in a room. I'm sharing it with someone else, and they're trying to rest. So I'm trying not to be too loud. But I did want to come down here and check in with you guys. So I will see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you.
All
Have
right.
safe travels.
Thank you. Thank you. You guys have a good evening. Okay. I'll talk to
Good
y'all
night.
later.
Thank you, really, babe.
Night.